The final filter that I use is, what do other people say? Look around. God has given you a community of faith. There are other people who will walk with you in your life of faith to determine how to live your life of faith. But hopefully you have people in your life who really love you and who really love God, because then these are the people that you want to talk to. A couple years ago, I had this overwhelming sense that God wanted us to take on a ministry that was going to be huge in proportion. It was going to require the buy-in and the effort of hundreds of people. And it was going to cost a lot of money as well. And because it was a big deal, I decided to call a couple of people and have them meet with me so I could tell them what I thought God was saying. These are people I trust very much, and I know that they love this church as well. So I told them what I thought God was saying, and I asked them if they would pray about it, and then in a couple of days just get back to me and let me know what they thought. So about 2 days later, the phone calls and the emails started coming in. Every single one of them said, wrong time, wrong ministry. And needless to say, I was pretty frustrated because I was quite certain that I had heard God very clearly. But now as I look back over things, I am so glad that I listened to those people, because they were right on target and I was wrong. So asking people what they think about what you think God is saying will require a level of humility, will require a part of your vulnerability as you're willing to be corrected. You need filters, because not everything that we think we hear God saying to us is God speaking to us. But here's the big deal. When you think you hear God, you have to act. Because listening and acting is all about obedience. It's about obedience. It's about stepping out in faith. And if you don't step out, if you don't act, then it just might be possible that God will wonder if God can trust you with the things that God wants to tell you. A couple of weeks ago, completely out of the blue, I get this image, a face of a friend, just flashes in front of me. And I hadn't talked with this guy for a while. I thought, I should probably give Tom, that's not his real name, I should probably give Tom a call. And then, as life generally happens, one thing kind of overtakes another, and I kind of put it in the back of my mind, and I didn't call Tom. The next day, I get an email from another friend who said, "Did you hear? Tom's father died today." I felt horrible. I felt like a loser. I felt so bad because, first of all, I let down Tom. I could have been a friend at a most critical moment, and I missed the opportunity. But a bigger deal than that was that I let down God. I mean, I heard God's prompting, and I didn't do anything about it. And so you better believe it woke me up big time. And I mean, I said, God, forgive me. Forgive me for missing that prompting. And I promise next time I'm going to follow through. A couple of days later, driving down 198, all of a sudden, just again another face of somebody. Nothing more than just simply a face. And I thought, I got to do something about this one. So I got off on Demery and I parked at the Save Mart parking lot, and I got my cell phone out. It was a friend that I've known many years ago. He's an older guy. Again, I kind of lost contact with him. So I called him on my cell phone, and we had this great conversation. There was nothing critical going on, and just an opportunity to check in with one another, and just for me to say how much I appreciated him. It's the last conversation I had with him, because 3 days later, he had a stroke, and he's not able to talk, and he probably never will. You can talk to God, and chances are all of you do talk to God in one fashion or another. We call this entry-level Christianity. But when we spend time listening to God, that for me is graduate-level Christianity. When we hear God through clear and concise ideas, when we hear God through images or impressions, when we hear God through promptings, and then when we do something about it, this is where our lives of faith take on a whole new dimension. So, in the effort to help with the listening process this morning, we're going to spend a few moments just listening to God. Amy's going to play some music softly, and I'm going to give you some things that I'd like for you to think about. But right now, I just want you to close your eyes. Just close them and kind of tune out all the things around you. And give yourself an opportunity to see God, to know that God is right here with you. He truly is right here with you. Allow yourself just to center in on His presence. And then will you allow yourself to focus on just a few things of what God just might be trying to tell you? Is there a word that God wishes to speak to you? One word that God wants you to be aware of? Somebody that God wants you to know about? Is there somebody, a face of someone that comes to you at this moment that you know you need to be aware of? Is there a decision that you need to make? Is there a direction that God wants you to go? I hope that you share with me the desire. In the few moments you have left here in this message, keep your eyes closed and just simply take in the considerations of God. I hope that you share with me the desire to be a part of a church family that is talking to God, yes, but even more importantly is listening to God. I hope that you want to be a part of a family of God that is going towards graduate level spirituality. That we're asking that would God speak to us and that we would shape our lives and our decisions based on what God is saying. Because I want to be a church. I want to be a part of one where members are asking God to show up, to speak, and to make a difference with the gifts that God has given them. Maybe today is one of those times in which God is trying to get your attention. Maybe God has been saying something to you in the last few moments that God has wanted to say so deeply. Because, sometimes we do need to slow down. Sometimes we need to turn off the sounds. Sometimes we need to open up the window and listen for a voice. It might save someone's life. It might be your own life.
This is the air I
The peace of the Lord be with you always.
And also with you.
Thank you. I invite you to share the peace